Here we have 10 word problems solved for you to master these strategies. Let us master these skills with Anil Kumar. Welcome to our playlist on solving word problems related to quadratic equations. The question here is, if twice the area of smaller square is subtracted from the area of larger square, the result is 14 centimeters square. However, if twice the area of larger square is added to 3 times the area of smaller square, the result is 203 centimeters square. Determine the sides of two squares. You can pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In case you want to learn directly from me, feel free to send an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. There are hundreds of videos related to quadratic equations in our playlist. Explore and learn absolutely free. Let us see how do we solve such a word problem. First step, of course, is to define the variables. If twice the area of smaller square is subtracted from the area of larger square, so we're talking about two squares. Let's say this is the smaller square, and let's say this is the larger square. Let's identify what the area is. Area is side squares, so x and y be the length of each side for these squares. So it says if twice the area of smaller square is subtracted from the area of larger square, which means y square minus 2x square, correct? Then what you get is 14 centimeters square. However, if twice the area of the larger square means twice the area of the larger square means 2 times y square is added to 3 times the area of the smaller square, what we get is 203. So that gives us two equations, quadratic equations, which we need to now solve. Perfect. So we can substitute the value of y square from the first equation in the second equation and then solve it. So from the first equation, we have y square equals to 14 plus 2x square. Substituting this here, what do we get? We get 2 times y square, this y square. I'm going to substitute with 14 plus 2x square. Makes sense, right? So it is 14 plus 2x square. And we have 3x square here equals to 203. Let's open the bracket, simplify. 28 plus 4x square plus 3x square equals to 203. 4 plus 3 is 7x square. And we have 203 divided minus 28. So this is the equation to be solved. So we get what? We get 7x square equals to, from 203, if I take 28, 13 take away 8 is 5. And then 9 take away 2 is 7, 1 remains. Correct. So x square is 175 by 7, which is 7 times 2 is 14, 35 is 5. So we get x as plus minus square root of 25. Negative roots Negative values cannot be the dimensions, that is extraneous root, so we'll take x equals to 5 minus 5 is extraneous. So we get the value of x. So determine the sides of 2 square. One side is x. We can now find what is y. Right? Let's try to complete the question on one page. So right here we have x equals to y. So y square equals to 14 plus 2 times 5 square, which gives you 14 plus 50 or 64. So y square is 64. Y is, we'll take plus and minus square root of 64. Only one answer, plus 8. Units will be centimeters, right? So our answer is the sides of the squares are x equals to 5 centimeter and y equals to 8 centimeter. Makes sense, right? So see, in any quadratic equation, there is a possibility of getting extraneous roots, the negative values. Whenever we're talking about sides, we know both x and y should be greater than 0. Y is also greater than 0. So negative values are extraneous roots. So I hope that helps. Let us now take question related to speed of two trains. Let us understand the strategy of solving distance speed time problems where we have different speeds of a given train. Welcome to our series on solving application problems. Here, the question relates to distance, speed, and time. A fast train takes 3 hours less than the slow train for a journey of 600 kilometers. If the speed of slow train is 10 kilometers per hour slower than the fast train, find the speed of the two trains. Many times you make equations which could be rational functions. When you try to solve them, you'll end up with quadratic functions, and then the factoring skills help you to get the answer or a quadratic formula. It is one of those examples. You can pause, answer, and then look into my suggestions. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. There are thousands of free videos to explore and learn. In case you want to learn directly from me, feel free to send an email on globalmathinstitute at gmail.com. Now let's solve the given problem, which is a fast train takes 3 hours less than the slow train for a journey of 60 kilometers. If the speed of the slow train is 10 kilometers per hour slower than of the fast train, find the speed of the two trains. So we can begin by defining our variables. So let us say that the speed of fast train be x. Then speed of slow train will be what? X minus 10, correct? And the distance we're talking about is what? So distance is 600 kilometers, right? Perfect. It says the fast train takes 3 hours less than the slow train. Now, you know how distance, speed, time are related. I'm just making a triangle here to represent. So if d is the distance, s is speed, and t is time, then that is a triangle which you should remember to relate them. So from here we can say time is basically distance over speed, correct? So we are saying that the train takes lesser time, right? Of course, it will take lesser time for the same distance. So what is the time taken by the fast train? So time for fast train. The distance is 600 kilometers per hour and the speed of the fast train is x. Similarly, time for slow train. will be same distance, but the speed is lesser, right? So it takes larger time. And the difference between the two is 3 hours. You get the whole idea, right? So, so that is how we are going to now get an equation and then solve this particular problem. Perfect. Let's go to a new page. So now the difference between the two, 600, slow train takes more time, so x minus 10 minus 600 over x, and this is equal to 3 hours. We can take a common denominator, multiply, so we get 600x minus 600 times x minus 10 equals to 3 times x minus 10. So that is how we get our equation, right? Well, we can make it slightly more simpler by dividing by 3. So we have 200x minus 200 within bracket x minus 10 equals to x times x minus 10. Correct. So open the bracket. So we get 200x minus 200x plus 2000 equals to x squared minus 10x. 200x minus 200x cancel. We get 2000 and x squared minus 10x. Let's bring all of them to one side. X squared minus 10x minus 2000 equals to 0. So we have a quadratic equation, as I said. We began with a rational equation to common denominator, multiply, got our equation. How do we solve it? Couple of ways. You could use quadratic formula or you could even factor it. 50 times 40 is 2000, and therefore we can factor this particular equation. So let me just factor and rewrite on the side. So we could write this as x, bigger number is negative, minus 50 times x plus 40 equals to 0. So x is equal to 50. It cannot be negative, that is redundant, right? So x equals to minus 40 is extraneous root for this quadratic equation. So we get the speed of one train as 50. So we get fast train is 50 kilometers per hour, and the slow train 10 less will be 40 kilometers per hour, since it is 10 kilometers per hour less than that. So I hope with this you have understood how systematically we can actually solve such problem. I hope it makes sense. Let us see how do we solve word problems where quadratic equations are involved. In this example, we are considering a right angled triangle and we are going to use Pythagorean theorem along with quadratic skills to solve the problem. Watch our playlist for many more questions. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In case you want to learn directly from me, feel free to send an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. Our students are right there on the top, getting admission to the best universities. Let us see how do we solve the given problem. The hypotenuse of a right triangle ABC is 3 square root 10 centimeter. If the smaller leg is tripled and the larger leg is doubled, then the hypotenuse will be 9 square root 5 centimeters. Find the legs of the triangle ABC. So the legs are the shorter side. Great. So let the shorter leg be, let's say smaller leg be X, right? And the longer one be Y. So always first thing is to define the variables. Condition given to us is if the smaller leg is tripled and the larger leg is doubled. So this is tripled means it is changed to 3x and the largest doubled means 2x, right? Then the hypotenuse is 9 square root 5. So how is the hypotenuse related? It is related with Pythagorean theorem, correct? So in that case, what we have is 3x whole square plus 2x whole square equals to 9 square root 5 whole square. Is that clear to you? So that is how one equation is formed. And the earlier one, we are given the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle as 3 square root 10. So that means x square plus y square equals to square of 3 square root 10. Perfect. Well, we can rewrite this as x square plus y square equals to 3 square being 9 and square root 10 square being 10 means 90. Or we can say x square plus y square equals to 90. And from here, we can write y square as 90 minus x square. Well, here I should have written 2y. So, because the other dimension, right? 2y whole square. Perfect. Now, so that gives you a relation between x and y. We'll call this as our equation number 1. The other equation which we got from the new conditions, that is, by increasing one side, smaller one 3 times, larger one 2 times. So 3x whole square plus 2y whole square becomes 9 square root 5 whole square. Now here we can now rewrite this. Let me change the ink as 9x square plus 4y square equals to 9 square is 81, right? Times 5. Square root 5 square. Now we know that y square is 90 minus x square. So we can write this as 9 x square plus 4 times 90 minus x square, correct? Equals to 81 times 5. 5 times 1 is 5 and 5 times 8 is 40. So we get an equation only in x. We can now simplify this, getting us 9x square plus 360 minus 4x square equals to 405. So 9 minus 4 is 5, so we get 5x square equals to 405 minus 360. So we get 5x square equals to 5 and 10 take away 6 is 45. Now let's take this to a new page to finally get our values, right? 5x square is 45. So it came out to that 5x square is 45. Dividing by 5, we get x square equals to 45 over 5, which is 9. And when you do square root, you get plus and minus square root of 9, which gives you x equals to plus minus 3. So, as you can see, x cannot be negative, right? So we'll use only x as positive 3. So we have our solution as x equals to 3. So we have one of the dimensions, which is x equals to 3. And we also know that what is y related to x, correct? Y square is 90 minus x square, correct? So we have y square equals to 90 minus x square. So y square equals to 90 minus 3 square. Y square equals to 90 minus 3 square is 9. So y square is actually 81 and that gives you y as equals to plus minus square root of 81. Negative values will be discarded as the dimensions cannot be negative. So they are the extraneous roots, right? So from here, we get the value of y as equal to plus 9, correct? And x was plus 3. All the units are in centimeters. So that becomes the solution of the given problem. So I hope you understand each and every step. So what we did was we initially defined the variables x and y based on the condition. We tripled one side, doubled the other one, and equated with the Pythagorean theorem. And then by substitution method, we really solved the equation. You need to consider only positive values, not the negative. Negative are the extraneous roots. I hope it makes sense. Feel free to write your comment, share your views. If you like and subscribe to our videos, that'd be great. Now, here is question number 7 from our set 1, where we are going to write equation in just one variable. Understand the art of reading and writing the expressions and relating them to equations. That is key to solving word problems. Second, of course, is practice. Right, question number 7. When you add 8 to a number and then divide by 9, you get the same result as when you subtract 9 and divide the difference by 8. Find the number. So you'll focus on the first sentence, which is when you add 8 to a number. So when you add 8 to a number, it is a phrase which means if number is x, right? So we'll always take x and y as our two numbers. So so it becomes when you add 8 to a number. So it becomes x plus 8. So when you add 8 to a number and then, so afterwards, divide by 9 and then divide by 9. Perfect. You get the same result as, so same result means equal to, as when you subtract 9 from where? It is from that number which you're talking about, x, right? Same result equal to as when you subtract 9 and divide the difference. So difference is x minus 9 by 8 by 8. You see that? So we have formed an equation with just one variable. It's a complicated statement. So of course we began by assuming let the number be x, right? So never be in a rush to solve word problem. You can make mistakes. Great. So when you add 8 to a number, x plus 8, and then divide by 9, so everything, x plus 8, everything over 9, you get the same result, means equal to, as when you subtract 9 and divide the difference by 8. Perfect. Now we have a linear equation. We can solve this by cross multiplication. So this type of a linear equation is kind of a proportions, right? So now we can solve by cross multiplication. So we can say 8 times x plus 8 equals to 9 times x minus 9. Perfect. It is as good as multiplying both sides by 72, right? Common denominator. So then also you get the same thing. So either thing you can write on the right hand side. Let's open the brackets. We have 8x plus 64 equals to 9x minus 81. Bring variables to one side. So I'll take 8x to the right hand side. Normally I bring it on the left. Anyway, we can do it this way also. 8x minus 9x equals to minus 81 minus 64. So that gives you minus x, right? So we could have taken it to the right side. And this is also a negative number, larger negative number. 1 and 4 is 5, and 8 and 6 is 14. Correct. So we get minus x as equal to minus 145, and that gives you the value of x equals to 145. So we have our solution. Perfect. So I hope you have understood this. Now it is also a good practice to check since we are learning the whole process of solving word problems. So let's check this result, right? So if I do x plus 8 means 145 plus 8 divided by 9. What do I get? So 8 and 5 is 13, 3, 1, 5 and 1. You see, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 3 is 9. So you can divide this number by 9. 9 times 1 is 9. You get 63. You get 17. Perfect. Let's do the other one, which is 145 minus 9 divided by 8. So when you take away 10, it is 135. Otherwise, it should be 136. And 8 times 1 is 8, 56. 8 times 7 is 56, right? So we have checked, right? Both are equal, correct? Perfect. So that means our answer is absolutely right. So I hope you have understood the strategy. Perfect. Follow our playlist. Do similar questions. Here is one for you to practice, which we are going to take in the next video. I hope you have understood the strategy. But solving word problems is not simple. You need to practice more and more. Follow our playlist to do the same, or you can also send me an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. We'll share with you links of related videos absolutely free. Thanks for your valuable time and all the best.